All right, today we are diving deep into a single, brutal encounter. We're going to deconstruct a last stand that honestly looks like a total party wipe. But as you're about to see, what seems like a simple defeat is, well, it's a whole lot more complicated than that.
This sentence right here, this is the heart of the whole story. This isn't really about failure. It's about a heroic, desperate struggle against absolutely impossible odds. So keep that in your head as we step right into the chaos.
So before we can really get into how a battle is lost, we've got to know who was fighting it in the first place. Let's meet the heroes.
Okay, so take a look at this crew. You've got Cedric, a druid who can shapeshift, Talonor, an elven ranger who's got his wolf Phelan by his side. There's Thane, a bard. And for your frontline muscle, you've got two samurai, Okazaki and Roberto. And rounding it all out is Calypso, a young but seriously powerful elven wizard. I mean, on paper, this group looks solid, right? Really well balanced.
Now, this fight doesn't kick off with some big, heroic clash of swords. Nope. It starts with a fast, calculated, and absolutely brutal ambush. A hunter by the name of Leo Vox really sets the tone for this whole thing in just the first few seconds.
His opening move is just a masterclass in chaos. First, he takes out the biggest magical threat. A single thrown knife takes the wizard Calypso right out of the fight. Next, he turns on one of the frontline fighters, Roberto, and just overwhelms him, takes him down with pure, merciless efficiency. And then, just as the party starts to react, poof! He drops smoke, vanishes, and his reinforcements come charging in.
So, with the party already hurting, totally disorganized, and a man down, that's when the main force hits them. A huge wave of gnolls just crashes in from every single direction. The heroes are immediately on the back foot, just fighting for their lives in a situation that went from bad to catastrophic in a heartbeat.
And now we're in the real thick of it. That smoke Leo Vox used to disappear, it wasn't just a simple distraction. It became the defining feature of the entire battlefield, and it's what turned heroic intentions into just tragic mistakes.
And this right here, this is the turning point. All that training, all their teamwork, it just starts to completely unravel. Because when you can't tell your friend from your enemy in a cloud of smoke, a battle just descends into pure chaos. You can see the chaos in action right here. Okazaki, trying to be a hero, charges into the smoke to save his friend. But Cedric, who's shape-shifted into a giant frog, just sees a shape moving in the haze and attacks him by mistake. At the same time, Talonor tries to get up high, get a clear shot, but his arrow misses, and now he's all by himself, isolated and totally surrounded. Their best intentions are literally working against them.
And the damage wasn't just physical. For Thane, the bard, watching Roberto go down for a second time was too much. He just shuts down. The source material calls it a deep, unreachable trance. He's still on his feet, but he's gone. He's completely out of the fight. A casualty of morale. His spirit broke before his body ever could.
But hold on. Just when you think all hope is completely lost, something incredible happens. Calypso, the wizard, the very first person to get struck down, she's about to get a second chance, all thanks to a piece of ancient magic she didn't even know she had.
As she's collapsing, this emerald necklace she's wearing just erupts with light. It knits her wounds back together, it restores her magic, and in this one single, breathtaking moment, she's back on her feet. It's a massive shift in momentum, all fueled by her just refusing to stay down.
But even with Calypso's miraculous return, the tide of this battle is just too strong to turn. I mean, the party's battered, they're separated, and they are still massively outnumbered. This is the last stand.
And what happens next is just the grim, heroic final act of this fight. Roberto is struck down again, Calypso's borrowed strength finally gives out, Thane, he never moves from his trance, and Cedric is beaten, first in his beast form and then as a man. The party is just dismantled piece by bloody piece.
But don't get me wrong, they did not go down easy. In all that chaos, they still managed to take down 6 of the 8 gnolls. I mean, considering they were ambushed and totally outnumbered, that alone is a huge testament to their skill.
After all that bloodshed, only one hero is left on their feet. Okazaki, the samurai, surrounded by his fallen friends and a sea of enemies.
And man, does he fight. He fights with every single thing he has left. He actually cuts down 2 more gnolls in this last, furious, defiant stand. But in the end, the numbers are just too great. Even his angelic blood couldn't overcome those impossible odds. He falls too.
And this brings us right back around to where we started. The party? Yeah, they're defeated, broken, unconscious. But their enemy, Leo Vox, he's not walking away clean. He's wounded, his arm is dripping blood, and you can bet his confidence has taken a hit. They made him pay a heavy price for his victory.
But wait, just when you think this is a story about a heroic but tragic defeat, the whole narrative pivots. The story isn't over, not by a long shot.
This one line, it changes everything. The feeling shifts completely from the heat and the noise and the blood of battle to something cold, silent, and unknown. It's a total change of atmosphere.
So now the perspective shifts. We're seeing things through the eyes of Talinor, the Ranger. He wasn't the last one to fall in the fight, but he is the first one to wake up. And he is not in a graveyard or some afterlife. He's somewhere else entirely.
He wakes up in a primitive cell, carved into a cave. And he's not alone. The rest of the party is there, along with some other villagers they had seen earlier. All of them unconscious, but all of them alive. They weren't just defeated and left for dead. They were defeated, and then they were taken.
And so here we are, right back where we started. Only now, this quote has a totally new meaning, doesn't it? Their strength wasn't just about how many gnolls they could kill. It was about their ability to endure a fight so brutal that their captors decided they were worth more alive than dead. They were too formidable to just be thrown away.
Which leaves us with the real question, the one that hangs over everything. If the goal wasn't to kill them, then what was it? Why go to all this trouble to capture this specific group of heroes? It seems their greatest test wasn't the battle they just lost, but the one that's about to begin.